Our amazement in the beauty of Morocco started from the first step off the plane. Not only is Morocco a beautiful country, but it's also a country with beautiful weather. Based off the walk from the plane to the terminal, we already knew we were in for a trip. Our energy levels were through the roof. That was until our pickup service was nowhere to be seen. Lucky enough, the weather was beautiful and so was the airport, and I couldn't stop being amazed about how amazing the architecture is in Morocco. There was just this clean aesthetic to the light colored buildings, to the blue skies around the desert, which just made it feel so cool. So this was actually, we were all supposed to be going to Morocco 2020, then of course there was COVID. So this is a redemption trip, but Leonard, he's as busy as ever, so he's not here with us. He's with us in spirit. Day one. Hey, it can't just be me, someone else.
Day one.
We're in it. Finally here. Scorching heat. 36 degrees, baby! Let's go!
Do it twice. One for the video, one for the story.
Okay. Here we are. We've made it. We're in MAK. It's been 36 degree heat. Let's go!
How much is the gas here?
Cheap. For this trip, we were fortunate enough to be staying towards the city centre, as our riad was pretty close to the main market. Our riad was called Riad El Wala, and this was amazing. The whole place was clean and there was a nice pool in the middle. And it really felt like it was your own oasis within the city and desert. And as typical for a lot of accommodations, you couldn't really check until 3, so we had a couple hours to kill. So we decided to just roam around the local market and have some of our first Moroccan food.
Quinoa bowl with avocado, meat, tomatoes, chip, cheese.
Company.
Let's hit the shade. Same stuff.
I got this mini meatball patties.
And yeah, look at it. We finally made it. 3 years in the making, baby. Let's go!
Let's go, so hyped. We just finished eating at Mazel. It was amazing. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Like the drinks were really nice, the food was nice.
Yeah.
So we thought we were just gonna get a quick snack before we go to the YSL Museum. And before we go back to the Riyadh, David's just doing his shopping. Weekly groceries. Alright, so we are just back from just having a quick snack. We have a taxi going to the YSL Museum at like 1:30, and we can't even check in yet till 2, so we're just trying to kill time till we do that. Trying to get changed, and then yeah, I guess we're gonna be going to the YSL Museum.
Welcome to my Riyadh. Welcome to my Riyadh.
Honestly, I can't recommend enough Riad El Wala. It's such an amazing place. The staff was amazing, the food was great, the place was clean and just so aesthetic. Alright, so we finally checked in. Here's our room. Grace and David in the corner. But yeah, it's pretty cool. We got a window to the courtyard where we were earlier. Aircon. Glad we got that because it is freaking hot.
Marjan Dejouan translate to garden. Major garden.
That's your fiance.
Didn't go on hot air balloon.
Oh yeah, hot air balloon.
Didn't go on a hot air balloon.
I flex for the camera. The afternoon's motive was Le Jardin Majorel and the YSL Museum. Unfortunately, they wouldn't allow me in with my FX3, so I had to leave that behind at the cloakroom, but I did manage to sneak in my Sony ZV-E1, so here's a couple clips I took with it, but it wasn't much. I was, however, allowed to take it to the YSL Museum, but there actually wasn't much in here unless you're eating at the restaurant or having a coffee, so we didn't stay too long here. We then decided to go back home for the evening just to freshen up, just because we were getting all hot and sweaty, and Gracie wanted this hat, and David, of course, had to try to haggle for it. Alright, so David's haggling for David haggled for 80. Turns out he doesn't even have 80 and he's only got 100. So with the hagglers here are David and Hannah. Me and Grace can't haggle for shit. The only thing I'll haggle for is for your love.
For 120, just like, look, that's what we've got to do. Ended up getting the hat we wanted. Boom. For 80 dirhams.
What's your tip for haggling?
Just be brave. Just go in what you want to spend. If you want the item, just know what money you want to, yeah. How much you want to spend on it, that's what you're going to pay. If not, move on to the next one. If that's the case, you don't get the item you want. Boom.
Sound like a storage movement. In the evening, we went to go explore the market and try to find dinner options. It was just such an amazing vibe being immersed in the marketplace with the whole hustle and bustle of the area.
We are at, shit, what's it called again? Medina? No, Souk. No.
The infamous square where everything goes and nothing doesn't go.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going with that, but yeah, it's a crazy culture shock in this market, man. Like, everything's so different. I feel like we just landed in like the Mummy movie or something.
We've been here.
Sick.
We've literally been here for 3-4 minutes and we've seen snakes, cobras, monkeys, pomegranate.
And as I mentioned earlier, it was such a welcome culture shock just because it's so different to what we're used to. And for me, that's honestly what I try to go for when I'm choosing my holidays. We then end up choosing a dinner spot, which was a rooftop with amazing views, but it was a little bit hard to get to just because there's so much alleyways and entrances just to get to this place. And that's something you're going to learn when you're in Morocco. The food we had was delicious and was our first official dinner of the trip. Coupled with the sunset, it was honestly the perfect night. The market earlier was already pretty busy, so it was crazy seeing how much busier it got at night. There was just so many street games and so much stuff to do. What up? So we're in the souk right? Where's the souk? It's the market. We just finished eating. And the vibes here are amazing. Like, everyone's here. There's a lot of people that kind of hound you, but it's cool as long as you know how to not get scammed. It's fun. But yeah, there's like so much to see. It's like so overwhelming, but fun first night in Morocco. I know I'm tired, but I don't know how I'm running right now. Look at David. David's getting enticed by the gambling. Look at it. Look at it.
I left my coins at home. Otherwise, I would have played.
The next morning, we booked a trip to the Agadir Desert to truly see what Morocco is like outside the city. We booked this tour via our hotel, but there's so many different places where you can book these sort of excursions. And I definitely recommend trying to do one when you're staying in Morocco, just so you can see the beauty of the country. It was also so nice walking the streets and the market this early in the morning, just because it wasn't full of people and vendors. It was honestly just so peaceful and you could take in the sights. Cool, so now we are just waiting for our tour. We actually have no idea where the guy is, but yeah.
So David,
We're off on our way to our desert today. Is that David? Is that your name? Hey, this guy's David. The tour was a full day tour, so it was going to be a very long day, and it was at least 2 hours just to get to the Agadir Desert, so I definitely recommend bringing some water and some snacks. The tour consisted of several activities, and our first activity was camel riding. Here we were given mint tea and we were able to dress up in the local garments and honestly trying to see what life in the desert was like. Got the headdress on. Headscarf. Look, you look so free. Look at that. David actually looks like he's in a mummy, man. He's like, you need like some knives or some sort. A whole camel ride lasted around 30 minutes, which was much longer than what we're used to and much longer than most camel riding tours, which was good because you got to take in the desert at a much slower pace and properly be immersed in the camel ride. We then drove deeper into the Agafi Desert, and it honestly seemed like the deeper you go, the more beautiful the environments became. We then drove over to the Atlas Mountains, where a lot of the local villagers were experts in argan oil export, so we got to see how that was made and how life was in the mountains.
That's right.
How's it?
I'm just putting on the anti-aging cream with argan oil. So what happens is you put it on, and you go to sleep. When you wake up, you turn about 15 years younger.
Grace is gonna look
We
like a
need
cougar.
it. We need it.
I think it's starting to work.
What's that?
12 now.
Oh my god, I'm turning Filipino.
No, because it's like because the bottle says 107. You can't.
No, but sometimes they can't really tell.
No, but they
It got flagged, and then they were looking for it in my. They were like, "There's something in
Yeah.
here," and I was like, "What is in there?"
Oh, you didn't have it in the bag.
It ran like 107. I was like, so if I scoop out 7 mil, we'll be alright. No, it's 107.
I had one and it was
Our next activity was then to hike up the Atlas Mountains to go to a waterfall. It was around a 40-minute uphill hike, so we actually were prepared for that. But it honestly was so worth it because, again, you got to see what the local villages and people were like.
We have a quarter chicken.
And I have, yeah.
Double Big Mac.
Double Big Mac for you. KFC hot wings for you.
nuggets.
After lunch, we then separated with a tour guide, and then it was another long drive home. It was a long and pleasant drive as you got to see what the Atlas Mountains were like. It was just so intriguing seeing locals on the road and just seeing what their everyday lives were like, and it wasn't long until we were back into the main city. Once we were back, we just freshened up and decided to chill for a bit, since tonight we were going downtown, which was a more built-up area of Marrakesh, which was full of modern architecture and restaurants and bars, so we were going for that type of activity. Honestly, one of the main things we learned about Morocco was everyone was just so hospitable. And whichever restaurant we go, we honestly always got a good service and just good vibes.
My name is Simon. Simon. This is Simon. Oh, good.
I like the kick.
Yo, it's just me and Han. Just for now, we're just gonna go get cash. Quick drinks. Gravid's chilling at the pool. Don't blame him because it's so hot, man.
Day 3.
Yeah, day 3. We were gonna chill at the pool, but I already got changed. I could bother to get my clothes off.
Day 3 was just a full-on market day. The souk was honestly such a maze that you have to dedicate a day to it. You need a whole day to just get lost and again immerse yourself in the local environment. then did a little more shopping round and more haggling where Hannah got her bag, and then we decided to go to this place called Batcha Coffee, which was a worldwide known cafe, so we definitely had to check that out and have some food and some of the great coffee there. The place was honestly so nice and I felt like I was in a Wes Anderson movie. Plus, the food and coffee there were just amazing. After getting back and getting changed again, our next excursion was to have a dinner at sunset in the desert. This was an activity that I highly recommend, as it is one of the few chances where you really get to just be in the desert itself. Watching the sunset at the desert was definitely something you have to do when you visit Morocco, because it honestly felt like we were transported to another world.
Yeah, just walk slowly there.
Everybody back in 3, 2, 1. 3, 2. And we are at dinner. David managed to finesse us a desert private dinner with the locals. And now we're gonna be stuck here till tomorrow morning. Don't know how we're gonna get back. We're probably gonna walk. I think it's that way.
Agafe Desert, let's go!
On our final day, since we were able to do everything we wanted on the previous days, today was more of a chill day and again more of market and cafe hopping. We honestly just got to relax and had no pressure to do anything else.
We're at a cafe in the middle of the market square. Zaytum Cafe. And we're having our frozen drinks.
Guys,
Cheers, guys. Frozen, cheers.
This is our third coffee shop of the day, or our third glass of coffee. Just been haggling hard.
Got hustled.
David got hustled over there. He got it down for 260 to 100 and it was still hustled.
Went to another vendor. Could have got it for 70, 60.
You went against your own rule, that's
I
right.
know.
But you know it's because he did it for love. For our final evening, the main motive was to go back to the main market and then basically try out every food stall that we could see. Since we saw it was approaching sunset, we then saw this rooftop where a lot of people were going to go watch the sunset. But unfortunately, since it was very overcast, there wasn't much sun to see.
So it is our last night in Morocco, and we found this rooftop, and you have to buy something to come in. But it's funny because they don't even have food; it's just drinks. So we had to buy cans of Coke to come up. But as you can see, there's hundreds of people.
When it got to dinner time and we got to try out the stalls and the food, first of all, the food was amazing. Though one thing we didn't expect was basically every food stall was the same. So there wasn't much variety that we got to try, and we were honestly full after our first 2 or 3 stalls. We definitely recommend trying out the local delicacies and the street food here because they were delicious.
Bon appetit, baby.
And that's pretty much it for our Marrakesh journey. And I could not recommend Morocco enough. It's such a beautiful country, and I just feel like the culture is so different to what we have in the West. And it's honestly one of the few countries which I've been to where I've had a culture shock in a good way, because everything just feels new and different, and there's just so much to learn and take in.